Okay, guys, this is going to be about Skyrim, and this time around we're going to talk about Ysolda. Now, Ysolda is an interesting character. I was asked to do a list of wives in that in Skyrim. What I decided to do was them individually, and you don't know it, but you've been doing it all along if you've been watching those videos, like the one with Helga at the bunkhouse. Now we're doing Ysolda. And what's freaky about this chick is that, and really you need to be concerned about, is that she's into bestiality. She's into the Khajiits. You'll find out that when you talk to her, that she wants you to get a mammoth tusk, right? And if you get a mammoth tusk, then you can marry her. Okay, all right. Question is, what is she doing with that mammoth tusk? All right, okay. And then the other thing that's weird about her is that she wants to take over the Banner Mare. If you kill the person that runs the Banner Mare, she does take it over. Another interesting thing about her is that she's in tight with the Khajiits, suggesting that she also participates in sexual activities with them, which means she's into bestiality. Okay, she's heavily into drugs, and I can tell you this why, because they deal in skooma. Okay, so this is a very, very shady character. Definitely somebody you don't want to date. Definitely somebody you don't want to marry because of her attachments with the Khajiit. So let's just go about this. I'm doing this in real time.
Skyrim's a hard enough land when you've got a roof over your head. Worst thing is, nobody wants them in the cities. Nobody trusts them. Matter of fact, I do. They've been fair enough with me, far as I
See,
can tell.
she's got this relationship with the Khajiits, right? Where she gets stuff from them and that. And I'm also thinking, like if I went to pickpocket her, I wonder what would happen.
About the same as everyone else. They're the catfolk of elsewhere.
If I can
They're
actually,
raiders and traitors.
get into her pockets,
You may not hear it. Elsewhere ain't nothing like Skyrim.
but
But
she's
the trouble
going
with
into
rumors
her
does
hut
spread
right now,
fast. Sounds
and
awful. Once I've made enough money,
okay, let's see if she has that on her. She's got the mammoth tusk, you know. Yeah, so this chick, what's interesting is what is she gonna do with the mammoth tusk?
Khajiit caravans. I'm going to buy the bannered mare from Hulda. They say there's nothing a Nord woman can't do if she puts her mind to it.
So that's the thing about Ysolda, right? Is that she's into bestiality. She travels with the caravans. She travels with the Khajiit. She's into the Khajiit. Okay, she wants you to get a mammoth tusk. All right, and you can marry her. Now, why you would want to marry somebody that is flaky like this is beyond me. And she's like unisex, like she's into everything. Like if you're a female character, she will get with you. If you're a male character, she will get with you. If you're a lizard, if you're a cat, whatever, she will get with you. That's absolutely disgusting. Why would you want to get with someone like Usolda? You know, sounds like she has a good heart, but she doesn't. She's actually quite disgusting. So my personal opinions about Isolda is, should you marry her or not, walk on by, man. You can do a trillion times better than Isolda. Um, I don't know why anybody personally would be into Isolda, except just to get a wife quick into the game because you get it as soon as you get a mammoth tusk. You give her a mammoth tusk and you got it right away, right? She's one of the more easier ones to marry in the game, you know, as you can marry her pretty quick into the game, right? I'm just trying to find where it is here. I think it's under miscellaneous, where I could find this. I don't think it's there though because I've already completed it. And that's the problem when you complete some of these things, it's hard to find them again, because Because like it only keeps track of the major stuff, eh? So I can't find her story arc here, kind of thing. So I just have to go by memory. So I wasn't exactly quite too sure what her reasonings were behind, you know, maybe I load in another save file. I'll save this one and I'll load in another one, and see, like, if I got another save file that can do that, actually, like, go back and see what she's all about, right? Because like that chick is disturbing, like, to be honest with you. um yeah, okay, those are all going to be that I have to quit out, in order to get into my other save files. They're all just that one character. So I'm just going to go down to load here. I'm doing the Serrano one right now. So let's see if we can find a low level one. We got Lydia at level 8. Let's load her in. And see, like, if we got Ysolda done or not. Because if not, then I can get into more deeper into her story, right? Sorry for the time it takes to do this. Serana was where I left off, actually, and I was doing a full playthrough of her, so that's what I plan on doing with all of them, actually, is eventually playing them through. I did all these builds for you guys. You guys are like, well, can you do a playthrough of them? Well, yeah, der, but it does take a while. I just gotta find my way to Ysolda and see if we've done her yet. That sounded bad, didn't it? But yeah, no, she's into cats. She's into everything.
It's a fine day to be around.
I think we did her
Yeah,
already.
these Khajiit make a living traveling the roads and selling their wares. It's got to be tough. Skyrim's a hard enough land when you've got a roof over your head. Worst thing is, nobody
So I'm a
wants them in the
female Nord
cities.
right now, and she's
No
like,
interest.
yeah, and she's into me for being a female. So that's all I can really do with this one, unfortunately, because I don't have a way of finding out, you know, yeah, it's kind of like, it's done, it's done. So unfortunately, it is done with most of my characters. So I'm just gonna wrap this up. Um, with Isolda, bottom line is that she's into bestiality. She's into skooma. She's on the shadier side of things. I'm surprised that she's not in Refton, to be honest with you, because she's the kind of character that looks like she should be in Refton. And she's going around and she's just like, heavy into the criminal activities, because that's what the Khajiits are all about, right? They're all criminals. There is not one single good Khajiit. They're about skooma, they're about moon sugar and that kind of stuff. She's on that side of the fence, right? When you look at her outfit, like, we'll go and pick her pocket, or okay, she actually carries a dagger and that too, right? And yeah, there's the mammoth tusk. She does have the mammoth tusk, so we already did her. So what's interesting though with the whole mammoth tusk is that when you pick this up for her, now she becomes marryable. You know what I mean? And so that's the thing. So I don't recommend her as someone to get married to. I'm trying to do a deep dive into this character, but there's really, these characters are all two dimensional except for Serana. Serana has a lot of depth to her. But these characters are basically two dimensional. You know, when you're actually not even two dimensional, they're like one dimensional. Like they got a really flat personality. There's not much story behind them. You pretty much have to make up your own story to give them, to bring them to life, to give them character, right? Because they have none, okay? So that's all I have to say about Ysolda, is that she's a criminal. She wants to take over the Bannered Mare. If you go and kill the person for her so that she can take over the Bannered Mare, she will. So you can assassinate the person behind the Bannered Mare, okay, all right? And then Ysolda will take it over a few days later, which implies that she actually wants you to go and kill the person so that she can take it over. Because when you talk to her, she goes, I plan on taking over the Banded Mare someday. And when you talk to the proprietor of it, she says, well, I plan on selling it to you Ysolda someday, implying that they want you to kill her so that Ysolda can take over the Bannered Mare. Okay, all right? Now, I don't know, because I haven't done it, I haven't killed her, to find out if you actually get the goods for free and everything like that, if she will actually give you all the stuff in the Banner Mare for free. That'd be an interesting, theory to see if that's possible. Maybe I'll play that out and see what happens, since I'm already in Riften anyway, right? Or since I'm already in Whiterun. But the thing is, though, she's on the shady side of things, right? So, in terms of being marryable, if you want someone who's into bestiality, that'll do a lizard, that will do, I'm not even joking. Like, like a Khajiit, a dark elf, an elf, this chick doesn't discriminate, okay? She's not, for the lack of a better term, racist, all right? She's like sexist. She's into all kinds of kinky stuff. She's right up there with Helga, when you really think about it, right? Because what's she going to do with that mammoth tusk? She walks around with it all the time. She's not giving it to the Khajiits or anything like that. Is that her sex toy or something? Just say it. Hey, theories are theories. There wouldn't be a theory if she wasn't walking around all the time with the damn mammoth tusk. You gave it to her. Where's she going with it, right? And another thing is, why, when you kill the person in the Band of Marriage, she takes it over? That means that you're supposed to kill her. They want you to assassinate her so that she can take over the Band of Marriage. This is one shady chick, okay? She travels with the caravans, with the Khajiits. She lives alone by herself in a little isolated hut, in Whiterun, okay? It's actually quite run down. So you coming along and marrying her is actually an upgrade for her. She's basically an opportunist. There we go. Now we're getting to the heart of the matter. She's an opportunist, right? She's looking for the next opportunity. And anyone that comes along that can, give her a one-up in life sort of thing, like level up, for you, it's leveling down, okay? If you're a real broski, like me, you're a real broski, okay? You're an alpha male, all right? Don't settle for less, okay? Go for the best, all right? And that's still yet to come. So these are my final thoughts about her. She's shady. She's skanky. She's into bestiality. Who knows what she's doing with that mammoth tusk? I don't want to know where she's putting it, into what orifice. And also, too, she wants you to go and kill the person that runs the Ben Amer so she can take it over, unknowing if you can actually get the goods for free, if you marry her, right? But if you do marry her, she'll marry you if you're a Khajiit, she'll marry you if you're an elf, a dark elf, if you're the lizard, what is that, Argonian, and she's heavily into the Khajiits. So actually, if you role play this as a Khajiit, she's into furries, okay? All right, I'm staying away from that. I am not going down that rabbit hole, okay? You guys are disgusting. That's all I gotta say. You guys are sick, twisted mofos, okay? I'm not gonna say what mofo means because then that's cussing and swearing. But the bottom line is, I don't see why anyone would want to hook up with Ysolda. She's really, really on the bad side of the fence. She's into skooma, she's into moon sugar. She's actually a drug dealer. If you're traveling with the Khajiits, you're doing everything wrong. If you're playing a Khajiit, you're doing everything wrong, because Khajiits are shady traders, right? And that's why she teaches you speechcraft. And could it be that she's possibly a siren? And therefore, if she's a siren, then maybe she's a succubus? Or maybe she's like, the siren in the waters and that kind of thing? Well, she can't be. She's on land, But the thing is, she could be a succubus in disguise, right? Pretending to be a female when really she's a succubus, right? Trying to suck your life force out. Because if you hook up with her, that's exactly what's going to happen. You're going to go downhill. She's going to go uphill. She's like, oh, look, I upgraded. I live in a shitty house. Like, I don't want this place, kind of thing, right? Upgraded with this one right here. And she will take anybody, and she's into all the criminal activities. So, unless you're role playing as a thief or an assassin, I would stay away from this chick. This chick is just bad news, okay? So that's what I got to say about Ysolda for now. Um, and I'm covering people that are and are not marryable in the game. I'm just talking about anybody, right? Okay. I'll make a separate playlist for this. I haven't made one yet, and maybe I should, but this is about Ysolda and what I think is going on there. And then we'll go off and we'll find someone else to talk about, okay? All right. Those are my thoughts about her. Thanks for watching.